Okay guys, so Sunday morning, running numbers again. I got a notebook with a bunch of numbers on it, and what we're going to figure out today is what it's going to cost to operate the truck. How much does it cost a mile to operate the truck? Like I said, I got a bunch of numbers on my notebook here. The other thing we're going to talk about is the maintenance account, and what I'm going to do, and probably what you should do too when it comes to the maintenance account, but that's going to be later in the video. The first one I'm going to get into is how much does it cost to operate your truck. So I went through in another video, we talked about the fixed costs, the fixed weekly cost, and then what I'm going to call the unfixed is like maintenance and fuel, stuff like that, that will fluctuate depending on how many miles you run and stuff like that. So the fixed cost is what it's going to cost you a month, whether or not you move your truck. Whether the truck moves, you take a week off, whatever, this is what comes out every week on the button. So that would include, and we talked about this in a video, you go check that out, and you got 4 or 5 videos on the channel. So we talked about fixed weekly expenses. That would be truck payment, trailer rent, bobtail insurance, tags and permit, get out of here in that, transflow, electronic log, satellite, stuff like that. Comes out every week. So, and we're going to round this up too. What I got figured out is $1,169 on a fixed cost. I just rounded up to $1,200 bucks. $1,200 a week fixed cost is $5,200 a month. This is based off of a 10,000 mile month, running 2,200 miles a week. So my fixed cost would be $5,200 a month. Now, the unfixed cost is the maintenance. The company I'm looking at takes out maintenance between 15 and I heard 27 cents. We'll make it 20 cents off of 2,200 miles is $440 a week, or $1,900 a month. Let's see, what else do we got here? The other one is fuel. Now, it's going to be hard to do fuel because you don't know how much of a fuel surcharge you're getting, and you don't know how much, or I don't know how much of a discount we are getting. So I'm just going to ballpark this at 2,200 miles, average of $1,476 a week, which equals out to be, it's about $6,000 a month. So the 3 main costs we got is $2,000 a month on maintenance, $5,200 a month on a fixed cost, and $6,000 a month on fuel. So that's everything it's going to cost you a month. Add that together, it comes up to $13,200 a month, and you divide that by the 10,000 miles that you're running in a month, which puts your operating cost for me, based on my numbers, at $1.32 a mile operating cost. Now, in that last video, I talked, there's 2 payments that are not permanent on that fixed cost. So I'm figuring $1,200 a week, but on that you got $166 a week going into an escrow, and then you also got $75 a week going for securement equipment. So both of them are going to come off, and when both of them comes off, your monthly fixed rate is going to drop from $1,200 a week to $959 a week. So the $5,200 a month for the fixed cost is going to come down to $4,155 a month. So that's going to lower your operating cost. So when you add all of that together, the $2,000 in maintenance, the $4,155, and the $6,000 in fuel, your operating, or your total monthly cost drops. Was originally $13,200, drops to $12,155. Divide that by the 10,000 miles that you're running, and that drops your operating cost from originally $1.32 a mile, and it drops it down to $1.21 a mile for operating costs. Of course, once you pay your truck off and you take that payment off, that lowers that monthly and that weekly cost even more, and that'll drop your operating cost even more. If you buy your own trailer, you know, anything you take off of that fixed cost, the lower your operating cost is going to be. Fuel prices drop, and you're not spending as much on fuel, operating costs go down. The less money you spend, anywhere you can save money, you know, brings that down. Now, I ran a bunch of numbers and it's really confusing, but basically all you're doing, just to recap real quick, taking your weekly fixed expenses, figuring that out, getting it to a monthly, you know, if you're spending $1,200 a week, you take that $1,200, times it by 52 weeks, divide it by 12 months, and that'll give you the $5,200. Same way with the fuel, figure out how much you're spending a week, times it by 52 weeks, divide it by 12, that'll give you what you're going to spend a month. Maintenance the same way. We figured 15, I think we figured 18 or 19 cents, maybe 20 cents is what I was figuring, on the maintenance. Again, 20 cents times the 2,200 miles you're going to run, times it by, that would be a week, times it by 52 weeks, divide it by 12, and that's where we got the $1,900 a month for the maintenance. And I rounded up to 2,000 just to cover my butt. It's going to be a little bit high. You're probably going to be a little bit high, but I'd rather come in high than low. Once you get all the monthly things figured out, you should have 3 monthly things: maintenance, the fixed cost, and the fuel. Add all them 3 together, divide it by your 10,000 miles, and that'll give you your operating costs. Like I said, it's a little confusing, but once you write it down on the paper and you figure out what you got, you should be good. So anyways, that takes care of the operating cost. This is actually just a ballpark, because until you get out there and actually get the real numbers, you're not going to know. But this will give you an idea, and hopefully when you do your numbers, get out of here, B. Hopefully whenever you do your numbers, you're going to do them and you're going to be high, so whenever you're actually operating and you figure it out, you're actually going to come in lower than what you figured. But $1.32 a mile is what my operating cost ballpark will be. So now I know when I'm trying to find loads how much it's going to cost to operate a truck, and then how much I need to make on a load, so I don't take a load that pays $1 a mile, which I don't know why you'd take that anyways, but just saying, you're losing money. If you're taking $1.40 a mile, you're not making any money. You're making like 8 cents a mile. You know what I mean? So it gives you a ballpark. You need to know this stuff and everything like that. Once the escrow and once the security stuff comes out, then for me it would drop down to $1.21 a mile, and then depending on the other stuff, you can ballpark. And once you start getting, like I said, real numbers, you should be good to go. The other thing I want to talk about is maintenance. So CRST is taking 15 to, I heard 27 cents, as high as 27 cents. So I just took a middle number, 20 cents, right? And I times it by how many miles you run a week, which we're figuring 2,200 miles a week, $440 a week in maintenance. But the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open, whenever I set all my stuff up, I'm going to open a second bank account under my business bank account. It's going to be my maintenance account. Different than this maintenance account. And what I'm going to do, I haven't figured out the exact number, but I'm going to ballpark it at about $200 a week. And I'm going to drop $200 a week out of each settlement a week into that account. It's going to be my maintenance account, because at some point the truck's going to be paid off. And when that truck gets paid off, the CRST maintenance accounts goes away. You're not putting into that anymore. But you still want to put money for maintenance. So if I'm putting $200 back a week over the course of my loan, whether it be 2 years or 3 years, that's going to be a lot of money, and you're not touching it. And I think I figured it, and I've got it in front of me, but I think I figured it right around 20, over 2 years it's like 18 or 20,000. Over 3 years it's like 26 or 28,000 dollars into that account. So as soon as your truck's paid off, if you're putting that money aside, the $200 a week every week, that's a big chunk of money you got in there to cover your maintenance. So whenever your truck's paid off, you have your maintenance account, and you're not trying to build it while you're working, which could be a big mistake. And there's probably not a lot of people doing that, but that's one thing I'm going to do. We're going to see. My goal is 200. We'll see what we make. It might actually go up, maybe go 250. or something like that. But the more I can get in there without touching it, the bigger maintenance account I'm going to have when my truck's paid off. That way I can just seamlessly go from the CRST maintenance account right into mine, and I got money set back for any kind of maintenance, because once that truck's paid off, all that maintenance is going to be on me. That's something you should look at too, seeing once you start making your money, putting some money back every week into an account, not touching it, letting it build over the course of your lease. So whenever your truck's paid off, you got an actual maintenance account and you don't have to build it from nothing, because like I said, that maintenance account is going away. Hopefully this wasn't too confusing. As I was running these numbers and talking about it, it seemed like it might be confusing, but on your weekly fixed expenses, just to cover it one more time, there should be 3 categories: your fixed weekly expenses, your fuel, and your maintenance. Add all them together, figure it out monthly, divide it by your 10,000. If you're only doing 8,000, or if you're doing more than that, then you need to readjust the maintenance and the fuel. The fixed cost will stay the same, and then divide it by how many miles. But 10,000 miles a month is a good ballpark to get you started. That's 2,200 miles a week. So, okay guys, that's it. Take it easy.